Hey, Marijuana Nation, just a quick announcement before we start the show. I'm actually looking to raise a little bit of angel investment. I built MJ Today Media into a profitable and cash flow positive business over the last 2 years from scratch, but I need some help ramping things up to the next level on a bit of a faster timetable than I'd otherwise be able to hit naturally. So I'm starting to talk to potential investors. If you're an angel investor yourself and want to learn more about what I have going on and how you can get involved, zip me an email to shay@mjtodaymedia.com with my name spelled S-H-E-A. That's shay@mjtodaymedia.com. This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery and now a nationwide provider of hemp-derived CBD products via the mail over at easewellness.com. Zip over to ease.com to check out the awesome daily deal up for grabs today with 25% off the cost of a bunch of great legal cannabis products like pre-rolls from Humboldt Farms and Lucky 420 and vape cartridges from Kingpin. Or if today is feeling more like a day to just buy flower, then you'll enjoy saving some cash with THC's Member Berry Strain. Member flower? Member? You just need to zip over to ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E, and pick your order off today's daily deals. After slapping on the promo code EB25, you'll see a quarter of the retail price fall away. What's not to love about that? Ease.com and easewellness.com. Thanks to everyone at Ease for supporting today's news. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Monday, January 21st, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 648 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We kick off the week with news of a new piece of federal legislation introduced late last week by Senators Jon Tester of Montana, a Democrat, and Dan Sullivan of Alaska, a Republican, that will compel the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs to start studying the use of medical marijuana to treat veteran patients. As Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moments picked up, this bill is similar to a measure introduced last year by the same senators, but a key change in its wording would actually force the VA to undertake medical marijuana research. Last year's proposed bill, which died in the Senate, said that the VA, quote unquote, may conduct research, whereas this year's version said that the VA, quote unquote, shall conduct research. That kind of language matters. Zip over to Kyle's story if you want to read more on this one. The U.S. territory of Puerto Rico, which has been hit hard over the last year by both hurricanes and President Donald Trump's inept and criminal response to those hurricanes, is now dealing with a mini crisis in its legal medical marijuana system, which just lost the single bank on the island willing to work with legal marijuana businesses. Regular listeners should now be well aware of all the hassles involved in the intersection of banking and legal marijuana, which is still seen by federal eyes as illicit. This story belongs firmly in that timeline as the Two Co-op, the only bank that had been willing to process financial transactions for the territory's small number of dispensaries and other legal cannabis businesses, announced last week that it was pulling out because it was losing the support of the larger banking co-op that itself is a member of. This will negatively impact the ability of dispensaries to not only handle customer transactions, but also the submission of sales tax and other fees to the government. Our final top story today is an interesting look at how legal cannabis is priced and sold in the state of Ohio, which saw the opening last week of its first few legal medical marijuana dispensaries. In particular, the way that the state packages and sells cannabis is notable. In the traditional illicit cannabis market, marijuana was and is sold in increments of 1/8 ounces, or around 3.5 grams. That's carried over to the legal market, as you'll find eighths and quarters and half-ounce pricing in most legal shops, but not in Ohio. Instead, Ohio is selling and packaging their cannabis up in increments of 1/10 of an ounce. So medical shoppers in Ohio are buying 2.83 gram packages and paying $50 per unit, or $500 per ounce. Prices will fall as the system ramps up, but the state is maintaining the requirement that legal cannabis be sold and packed in those units. The origin of that choice has to do with the amount of cannabis that state officials deemed proper for a 90-day supply. Zip over to Cincinnati.com if you want the full breakdown of how that happened. But either way, if you should ever hear the term Ohio 10th at an industry event, now you know what that's referencing. I'm just looking forward to infused Buckeyes. Those things are tasty. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz on in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a nationwide provider of hemp-derived CBD products via mail delivery over at easewellness.com. Ease is dedicated to making it easy for you to get legal cannabis products delivered that are tested, packaged, and labeled exactly as they should be. With the recent launch of easewellness.com, Ease has extended its reach nationwide, with more than 41 states now eligible to get hemp-derived CBD products via mail delivery. And of course, if you're in California, you just need to open up ease.com for all of your delivery needs. Californians are lucky to enjoy not only that shorter website, but also a 1-hour delivery time available to Golden Staters. You just have to be in a part of California where Ease is active and be placing your order during legal delivery hours. Find out just how easy Ease is continuing to make legal cannabis delivery over at ease.com and easewellness.com, with Ease spelled E-A-Z-E. All right, time for the Blitz. The state of Arkansas appears to be well on its way to launching its new medical marijuana industry this spring, as the Arkansas Democrat Gazette is reporting that all 5 licensed medical marijuana cultivation facilities are now under construction, with one having already planted its first batch of cannabis. Those 5 cultivation sites will serve a program expected to be running sometime in April. Just a few months after the launch of its adult use marijuana dispensary system, Massachusetts is starting to see a bit of industry normalization, with one adult use shop feeling comfortable enough with its supply to remove limits it had set on customer purchase sizes, at least during the work week. The Cultivate adult use dispensary had been imposing a limit on customers who could buy just 1/8 of flower, 2 pre-rolls, and a single package of edibles in a transaction, even though state law allows for up to 1 ounce of flower or 5 grams of concentrates to be purchased. That's the new limit now at Cultivate's Monday through Friday. Civilized has a good write-up of a recently released study from the University of Michigan that shows that nearly half of all medical marijuana users report that their use of medical cannabis allows them to cut down or cut out entirely their prescription drug intake. So many lessons there. Give this one a read and click through to the original report itself. A newly introduced bill in Missouri's state legislature would give a 10% boost to the scores of minority and women-led teams of applicants when handing out medical marijuana business licenses. Missouri voters passed a medical marijuana ballot measure last fall and should start to see dispensaries opening up sometime next year. State said it will start issuing licenses towards the end of this year and has already collected more than $2 million in application fees. 2 separate but similar bills were just introduced into the state House and Senate that would carve out that added 10% boost to women and minority applicants, which supporters say is necessary to overcome some of the disparities that exist within legal cannabis along racial, gender, and economic lines. Former Republican and New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg is widely expected to run for president as a Democrat in 2020 and is against the legalization of marijuana, marking him alone in a field of fellow candidates, should he actually announce, who have all come over to the side of sensible cannabis policy. But not Michael Bloomberg, who spoke last week at the University of Toronto and said that he thought making marijuana legal was a bad idea. Okay? Does Kevin Sabet know this? Get that man a Project Sam board seat. A letter to the editor in a Michigan newspaper raises an interesting note about that state's new adult use legalization laws. That is, adults of age in Michigan are now allowed to consume cannabis on their porch in full view of the public, unless there is a local ordinance banning it. And finally for today, a soda shop and pharmacy in Delray Beach, Florida is getting some headlines for their new CBD-infused milkshake, which will set you back $11 for a mint chocolate chip shake containing 25 milligrams of hemp-derived CBD oil. If you find yourself in that part of the country, just look for and navigate your way to the Delray Shores Pharmacy and Soda Fountain. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the listeners' ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.